ice and then just needs gluing back up. Is that right to do that? Yeah, nice one.
Some people didn't enjoy the ice cream episode.
Have we started?
They couldn't handle the ASMR-ness of it.
Yeah, no, I couldn't. I wasn't here and I didn't like it.
It's because you're weak.
No.
These don't taste like chocolate.
Fake chocolate.
That is probably because they are the cheapest
Marklet.
pieces of shit.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. The ice cream van, the fucking tune was, it sounded like a cat being ran over.
So I went to your next door neighbours and said, the van looks really shitty, but the ice cream's quite nice. And they went out and got an ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, the people next door to me. I thought you meant at your house.
Yeah, he's been telling everyone.
Yeah.
He met this guy on the street and he was telling him about it. He said, yeah, the ice cream van's really shitty, but...
The bag lady.
I hope he doesn't
Ladies.
listen to the podcast.
I don't think there's any much risk of that.
Oh.
What makes you say that?
Um,
We need like little business cards just to hand out to everyone we talk to.
We do.
Don't know if that would be a good idea or a bad idea. More people listening.
Tell you what we'll do is maybe we can just have this and then cut until we've eaten our ice creams. Because some
No.
people don't like the noises.
no, we'll just eat quietly and John can tell us about his week.
Okay.
Oh, well, I do my
Yeah.
how am I
So
going?
what? So which episode is this?
28 or 29. This, I think we are at the point where we've lost track of the episode number.
No, that can't happen.
We're close to hitting 30 though. Did you think that would ever happen?
I'm close to hitting 30.
Cool. You not actually 30 yet?
No.
Wow.
Nearly. It's my last year. I'm literally...
This is your last 20s.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from here.
That's the thing, like when people said to me, as soon as you hit 30, injuries, it all changes, they never go. I was just like, that's bullshit. But soon it literally happened.
I think that's if you're a pussy.
Oh, here we go. He's going to
Alright.
experience it now.
You just wait and see, mate.
I say I've been driving a digger all morning. I went to get off it. I went to get off it a minute ago and I was literally
Hurt your hip.
I was like seized to it. I was like,
That gets
Do you
worse.
find with like diggers and stuff, you get bored of it at all?
no, because I just put my headphones on. Because I've done it for so long, I don't have to concentrate.
Yeah.
I'll say that, I'll go back now and I'll fucking tip the digger over or something where I'm not
Smash the
concentrating.
wall out.
But yeah, where I don't have to concentrate, I just put my headphones on and just like...
Answer
That's it.
calls while doing it
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
So,
See, I should probably do that with my job. Put my headphones on so I can answer the phone. Because usually if I'm doing a full rap, I will zone out. I don't touch the business phone whatsoever.
well, that could be the £1 million contract that comes in.
Yeah, it could be.
AA ringing you to wrap all their vans.
Yeah. I had someone come in the other day saying about, oh, do you do like commercial stuff? It was like printed or just like colour change with a bit of sign writing. It was like more printed, but some of it will just be, I was just like, I don't touch the printed stuff. Sorry, mate.
Is that not a printer there?
No.
Oh.
That's a blotter.
Okay.
Fucking idiot.
Sorry.
The printer for like what I do takes up like this space here.
Oh, right.
They're pretty big
Well, it
machines.
can't take up this space because this
No.
is the really expensive podcast studio.
Yeah.
This is
This
the
is where the
real-
big bucks get made.
The money earner.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not
Sam's-
even.
Sam's in the cook chair.
Yeah.
This is where the money happens.
But yeah, so how's my week been?
Yeah, that's great. Sam, how's your week been?
Well, I'm done with my ice cream now. So, my bit.
Should we start with you? Because you've had a... Well, it's been 2 weeks since we've recorded.
I'm sorry, but what the
Sam's-
fuck is that in the
Bubble
bottom?
gum.
That is not bubble gum.
Well, it's a screwball, isn't it? That's what it's called.
Might just be a
Let me see.
jelly bean.
What the fuck is that?
Does that have autofocus on?
I think so.
That's a jelly bean, mate. You've
I don't like. Yeah.
You've been had.
So not only is it the shittest ice cream van in the world.
Oh, it's coming out. Yeah.
No, I'm not having it.
There you go.
No.
You have to eat it.
No, I don't like jelly beans.
You can't get down until you've finished your dinner.
Okay.
Chug it. We like to drink with me, so...
I'd rather keister. Oh no!
You lost your hat.
I'd rather keister it than eat it.
Keystring.
I'm just going.
Go on then.
Just going on.
We're waiting for it to happen.
Prove it.
It's like, where's your bin?
Just put it on the tissues just there. By the bin.
Pop it in your prison pocket.
Right next to your right shoulder. On the table.
Do what? Oh, like that.
Yeah.
If you want to smuggle it out to the yard, you know where it needs to go.
Yeah, I know.
Right, I'm going to get this fucking thing back on track. Sam,
No, because I've lost my hat.
you should try and find out without hitting the microphone. Oh, he's got it. So, Sam.
Why is there a big pile of tissues down there?
So we've had a bank holiday Monday,
Oh, they're crusty.
plus Sam's been away. Where have you been, Sam?
I went to Italy.
Where you wheelie
You
bin?
could have sounded a bit more excited about that.
I went to Italy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice. It was good.
How long did you go for? A week,
Week.
wasn't it?
We ate lots of pasta.
Racist.
Ate
Do
a
you-
bit of pizza.
Do you think the pastas taste different in Italy?
Everything tastes different in Italy.
In a good way?
Yeah. We went out to Tuscany in the countryside. It was really nice, very rustic and like proper food and all that stuff. So it was good.
I
Yeah.
love just how there's like no emotion to him. Like, he's just been on holiday and there's like no excitement from it.
Yeah, but you're different. You love
Yeah.
it. You're like,
What do you mean I love it?
when you
What?
came back from your holiday, you were like, I'm
Oh,
99.
well, like Iceland.
I'm 99%. I've met the love of my life. Like, Sam's like, yeah. Like we went on holiday. Yeah. You know, he's just humble
humble.
guy.
That's right.
But then you've done quite a few trips.
I'm in control
Your time.
of my emotions.
I'll make it sound like you've been...
You're still working on that. It's all right.
I'm still working on it.
It's called maturity, John.
It's called autism, I think.
Yeah, but no, it was good. It was nice to go away. And
Bit
yeah,
of a reset.
Ripley loved it, I think. I mean,
First time, no,
Second.
second time on an airplane.
second time on an airplane for her, and
God,
she
yeah,
was really
look at,
good.
Look at Jet Setting Sam.
I know.
It was only a couple of weeks ago. He was in somewhere.
Tenerife.
Tenerife.
Canary Islands.
11 Reef.
Yeah, around, yeah.
Yeah, that's right next to Forteventura
Yeah.
and Morocco.
And then next month, we're
Geography.
going down to Cornwall.
Are you?
Yeah, for a week.
Nice.
Where was my invite?
Yeah.
Do you want to come?
Yeah.
Can I come?
No.
Cornwall's a lovely
so it's
place.
Good.
I
It's
love
nice to be
it.
back. It's good going away with...
I've got this. Look, I've put the sombrero there, and it probably looks a bit
Dodgy.
dodgy. Like I'm.
Got to cover it up.
Time.
But when you have a small person, they need a lot of like stuff, and they have all their own stuff. And when you go someone that's not child-proofed in any way, it can become quite
Stressful.
and kind of tiring. Whereas in our house, we have like stair gates, and there's no steps in the downstairs to
Yeah.
worry about. So,
Or a swimming pool.
or a swimming pool, or a pond, or any of that stuff. So it was quite nice being back and being able to relax a little bit too. But yeah, I don't think I've been training since I got back. Yeah,
Yeah, you've
I went to
been
the
at least
Monday
once.
open mat.
Yeah.
Didn't bring a gi. Wore my
Taught
no
a class
gi.
as well.
Taught Tuesday. Yeah.
You've changed.
What, am I more tanned?
No, just not bringing a gi to an open mat.
You didn't get the memo.
How's the knee feeling as well?
You aren't in the WhatsApp.
Ooh.
The no-gi WhatsApp chat.
Good. I wouldn't want to be in that fucking chat.
You-
This hat is so annoying. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Is it because you're bald?
I think Sam's bald, but
Stronger.
I'm just
head.
not comfortable.
So the issue comes when you do this.
Yeah,
Because it doesn't...
And that's where he sat in the corner.
I'm a sloucher.
So we need to cut little notches out of the sofa to accommodate the back of the hats.
Don't tempt me.
We're wearing these hats so that he can basically go to Mexico and
Get his end away.
yeah, basically yeah. And now we have to go through.
I
this.
didn't start all this stuff. You started
The
it by
amount
singing a
of
song.
stuff we do for you.
We are the biggest wingmen
Yeah.
going at the moment.
Potentially not a wingman.
I hope
Probably
you
the opposite
appreciate
effect.
We're like PJ, like private jet with those two wings on like a
Yeah, yeah.
not even a like a fighter jet.
Yeah.
That's what you and me are.
Gotta swoop in.
This is completely going
man.
off track.
Sorry.
What's your percentage?
Yeah, sorry. You asked how my knee was.
Yeah.
It's still, I can still feel it. I've got to be careful with it still.
You're still using your KY jelly tape or whatever it's called.
Yeah, my KT, tapey tapes.
That stuff works really well.
Yeah, so it's good, and it's good for other people to know that it's there. So I still strap it up because I don't want, so I essentially don't do anything with my leg in sparring now. Like I have to do everything on the other side that I would normally do on that side and stuff. So it's difficult, and I have to be really conscious of it because I'll do something and I'll be back to square one. So I have to still be really careful. But it's getting there, feeling better, feeling stronger. Percentage wise, rocking about 90. Pretty good. Like I like being home and
His monotone voice would have confused me there with his mood. But you've picked me up now.
Got to keep the enemy guessing.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So
Kept me on my toes.
recorded a solo pod yesterday,
Did.
which was quite cool. It was kind of like a bit of a journaling exercise. That was interesting.
Did you enjoy doing it?
I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I did actually.
I tried doing one there by myself, but I had no game plan of what I was going to talk about.
No, you can't
And
do
that didn't
this
work
is all
out.
right because we can kind of bounce off of
yeah.
each other, but doing one on your own where you don't have anything to talk about, then that's just like not.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. You've got to have a plan, and that was
Yeah.
easy because I just talked through what I taught at the workshop. So yeah, that's me done.
90%.
90%. Beat that.
Don't think I can.
May Goldstein, go.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you next.
What?
I'll go last.
I'm trying to think. What? How long have I not been on here for?
A week, isn't it? 'Cause
Oh, did we do
recorded
last week?
I think so.
No, there's nothing really amazing.
Did you do one at your house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well-
sorry. Back in the room, are you?
Siesta.
Okay.
While Sam was on holiday, we did one, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then we missed bank holiday because it was bank holiday Monday.
Yeah, we have to take bank holidays off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legally.
Legally, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the question? How am I? What have I been up to?
How's your week been? How's
yeah.
training?
How are you?
Not too bad. Training, I'd say, is good.
Yeah.
Work is stressful. But training's good. This is a jiu-jitsu podcast, so...
But is it though? Really?
I think it's a bit of a mix now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Elon Musk leaving the American...
Oh, Doge.
Yeah.
Politics.
No, that's not. Yeah, it's all right. Training's good.
You've been ill. You've both had the same illness I've had.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I thought I was going to avoid it because I didn't see you whilst you was ill, but John's this mad carrier and he's given it to literally everyone.
This is
Super spreader
bullshit.
John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Brooke even agreed with me.
No. She agreed that I shouldn't have trained because I was
You were ill.
better, but I kept making myself run down.
I remember like day one when you were feeling ill, you were like, oh, I shouldn't really train, but you trained.
Yeah,
I was
because
like,
I thought I was okay, to be fair.
I took the whole week off. I
Yeah,
didn't.
but you did train when you was ill.
I didn't train.
You did.
No.
Yeah.
I came
You
in.
must have, 'cause you caught
watched.
it.
No, I got it from his house.
You came to my house a few times, and we did.
Yeah.
You and I were sat there doing the podcast.
Anyway,
too.
John's a super spreader.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. I had a little bit of a tickly illness, but it was more... I think I was more just...
You said to us, "Oh, I trained yesterday, and today I can't get out of bed."
Thank you.
That's called being really fucking ill.
All lazy.
It was exhaustion, though, not illness.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't just.
get it from the
that
illness.
doesn't just happen from training unless you happen to become a major pussy
Yeah. But I haven't passed it to anyone.
that you know of.
No. John's passed
I'm
it.
getting blamed for
John
something I
passed
haven't
it.
done.
So, right. Monday, I didn't roll with Cameron. Yeah.
Yeah,
you could have got it from anywhere.
John rolled with Cameron.
that's espionage. That is
Cameron wakes up Tuesday ill.
corporate sabotage.
So he wouldn't have got it from me then because that would have been way too quick for him to get that ill.
Yeah,
We don't know what the
motivation.
illness was,
Yeah.
though. We don't know what the illness
I
was.
put no finger near him. Nothing went up his bum.
Super spreader.
Well, I'm probably patient zero then, aren't I?
Yeah.
Well, is Ripley?
Ripley was ill first.
So Ripley's
patient zero.
Well, we can blame her then. That's great.
not John.
Yeah. So yeah, no. Okay. So it's been a little bit. I think I'm just exhausted. I think I'm overworked. I think I'm overlifed.
Do you need a
Sorry,
hug?
we're supposed to be understanding in this. It's all like, oh, mental health, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And we're being really mean. Yeah, well, you're in a stage of parenthood. I remember this stretch being really difficult because the kind of cute amazingness of it all is no longer there, and you're in the throes of they're not into a proper sleep schedule yet. So you're in this in-between stage.
I'm like, I think the newborn bit was worse. I'm not crying. I'm just my eyes watering.
It's all right.
You can talk about it.
No,
It's
I
fine.
think the newborn bit was worse. But, and when I first came back training after having him, and I was like, I don't know what everyone moaned about. Like I'm sound. Like
It's gonna be easy.
yeah.
I didn't want to burst your bubble.
And then a couple of months in, and I'm like,
Shit.
but still train. I don't think I've really dropped off training at all, so that's good. But it's just tiring.
Tell you what, that hoodie that you got, Koa, the Newbury BJJ one is so cute.
I know.
Have you tried Ripley?
I need to tell Bernie I've nicked
Take
one.
Well, let them know now.
Did you find one?
Yeah, I did in the end.
Oh,
I need to
Conrad was looking good.
Yeah, no, I need to tell him as
Yeah.
well. They're out the back on the rack, Conrad, and I need to text Bern. Let me do it now. Sorry, Bern. I think I owe you some money.
But yeah, apart from that, everything's
Percentage?
all right, really. 75.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's roughly, I think, last week, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I was 70 last week, so
It's gone up.
up. Oh yeah, mile high. I'm up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
No.
Good work.
What about you, King Jam?
Me.
King
How's my week been?
Jam.
Busy.
Jugs and
Hombre.
Jugs and
Hombre.
men. What does Jam stand for?
Is it hombre or hombre?
What does Jam stand for?
Jelly and MILFs.
No, what was
Oh.
it?
What?
I don't know what we're talking about.
What did Jam stand for?
Jam.
Yeah.
My initials.
Juan Amigo Mexicana.
You told me it stood for something. King Jam.
Oh, don't start that.
Oh, that was it, wasn't it? It was John Morgan, whatever your middle name
John
is.
Andrew Morgan.
And that's why it was King Jam, yeah, sorry. This podcast is really good. Go. Hit
My
me.
week. Lots of work. Got back training after being ill because I didn't train while I was ill.
Debatable.
So, what was it this week? We've had 2 open mats, which has been great.
I think I've just got hay fever.
Potentially. No. Potentially, no.
Sam says no, so apparently no.
No. Yeah. Not many injuries. My shoulder still hurts a little bit. So, apart from that, just organising stuff for my trip and
John is going
relaxing.
to the land of Mexicana.
I am
And
going for 10 days,
and
which was a slight miscalculation. It wasn't meant to be so long, but it ended up being that long because I made a boo-boo.
Yeah. We all believe you.
But no, it's gonna be fun. Looking forward to it. I just literally right now I just want to go to sleep and just wake up and it'll be then. Because I've still got 3 weeks to go.
Like Christmas.
Yeah,
It's going to be better than Christmas.
hopefully. The one thing I'm worried about is dying from heat stroke.
I think you've got a bunch of other things to be worried about.
Heat stroke would be the last thing that I'll be worried about.
Anyway.
Didn't.
So hold on. No, wrong one. There you go. So what's your percentage?
I reckon still 90.
Wow.
You guys have.
I've got a little bit of nerves going on at
We're
the moment.
balling out of control.
I'm
you and
trying.
me.
Oh,
What's your nerves about?
90%.
I don't know. I think it's just because it's the furthest I've gone, and I just don't know what's happening and such.
Live your life.
Exactly.
Just
you only
don't-
live once.
If you lose yourself to Mexico, I am not coming to find you. That is your choice.
Oh
That is
no,
on
it'll
you.
be fun. It'll be like the road to El Dorado.
I need to check if my phone even works in Mexico yet.
I don't go to Wales, let alone.
This is it. This can be the thing that like gets you on an aeroplane. You're like, John needs me. We have to go extract
that would be such
him
a good
from
episode,
Mexican
wouldn't
jail.
It wouldn't happen.
You guys could start vlogging, trying to find me in Mexico.
Tell you what. Let's tranquilise you and put you in a cage like a dog.
I think you'd
and
have to.
stick you under the hold.
Yeah, you'd have to.
Like if I got lost in Mexico or something happened and I lost my phone and stuff,
Happened.
would you guys come and save me?
No.
Well, you wouldn't.
Reluctantly, yes.
Sam, Ripley, and
'Cause
Catherine.
no one else can do it.
He says
He
reluctantly,
wouldn't do
see?
it.
At least I'm
None of your
honest.
family would.
I'm honest enough to just say no.
No,
What's
I
the-
would
what's the
abandon
scene
my wife
on-
and child to come to rescue you?
This is like the scene on Hangover, isn't it? Where the guy gets lost in Bangkok and he's like, Bangkok has him now. That's what I'd just be like, oh well, Mexico has him now.
But did you die?
So it's good.
You'll be all right.
90% with a
fun
little bit of nerves. I'm all good.
Nice.
It's going to be experience. Whatever happens.
Oh, it's certainly going to be an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. Right. Episode. Fuck knows.
Yeah.
28.
Let's just go with 28 and
Who
hope for
even
the best.
cares at this point?
I think it might be 29 though. Anyway, it's either 28 or 29.
The hundreds of listeners are going to be pissed right now.
They are.
I don't.
We've really dropped the
They
ball.
come here for the content. They don't really come here for the numbers.
No,
That's true.
exactly. We don't think about the numbers either. Like, it could be one person listening to us. It could be thousands. As long as someone's getting a benefit out of it, we don't care.
Yeah, as long as we're getting paid.
Which I don't think anyone's getting a benefit or we're getting paid. So
We're just putting these out there and no one's
there's
listening.
a problem here.
It's just something to do.
Yeah.
Right. To keep the demons away. You have topics, apparently.
Yeah, so after the live stream that we did, which I thought actually went really well,
So I spent ages trying to join that and it wouldn't actually let me.
I think because I have to
To
accept
begin
it.
with, I said to not join because I was trying to
Yeah.
tidy up my kitchen, and then I'd done that, and I was also trying to cook, but I had a little stretch of time. I was like, okay, I'll join, and it didn't bloody let me.
Yeah, it's
and
'cause-
then when it did let me join, I was like, I'm having to like cook and stuff now, so I just had to face you to the tigers.
So when you send invitation to come on, I have to accept it.
King Jam
But it doesn't
controls
show-
all of the.
It doesn't show
realm.
up.
Dictator
But I can
Jam,
yeah.
invite people to join. But if
King,
you
King
decline
John
it,
Jam.
King John Jam.
then when you try and rejoin it, I have to re-accept it,
Okay.
and that's why it just wasn't showing up.
Anyway, sorry. Something came up in that. Go on.
But yeah,
Yep.
I thought it was really successful. Brooke managed to get Mason to come on,
Yeah,
which
I can-
ended up really fun.
I wasn't gonna. If Sam had been on, I'd have been all over it.
Yeah. Just like these episodes. If Sam's
Sorry, this might
recording,
be
he'll
noisy.
turn up. If Sam's not recording, he's
Sorry.
can't be
Sorry.
bothered.
Exactly. Sorry.
He can't stand to
Okay.
sit with me for an hour.
Oh no, I see you too much.
But yeah, so towards the end, me and Archie were talking just like about why we started the podcast, and things like he briefly went over like he started it and he's done quite a lot of martial arts and how it's helped his mental health. So I thought that might be a good topic to go over, is just how it helps us all, really.
Yeah. But you start.
Yeah, go
Take
on.
the lead on this, John.
Go on.
Well, I didn't even have any intention on doing it for losing weight or thinking it was going to help my mental health. It just looked like a bit of fun. But it made a huge difference to me. One, losing like 40 kg, that for starters. And then just through the experiences I've had in life.
Sorry, I was yawning not out of rudeness then.
sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
She's getting real serious.
I
then.
was just going to yawn and then I forgot that we were being videoed and everyone would have been like, that's not funny. So,
Dickhead.
sorry.
But no, through the experiences I've gone through since doing jiu-jitsu, I think without jiu-jitsu, God knows where I'd be right now. Because of the community and, like, you turn up and you switch off from everything else, don't
Yeah.
you? Like,
Yeah.
you forget about everything that's going on.
Sorry.
And
Sorry.
He's so fucking rude, isn't he?
I'm just tired. Just tired of life.
But yeah.
He's been so negative.
I'm just.
You okay?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
obviously
We need
not-
to check on his
It's
mental health
obviously
now.
not having enough of an impact on your mental health, Mason.
Oh, trust me.
Because normally it's John who's like, oh, I'm a bit sad at the minute.
I'm trying
We
to.
all take
No,
the piss, but we all try and be there for him at the same time. Whereas you,
I'm not. No, I'm here. I'm upbeat. I'm ready.
you can't just. Your actions have to match your words.
I'm just
Your
tired.
shoe's probably covering your face right now.
Sorry. All right, guys.
We're here to hold
This is an
each other
intervention.
accountable,
Yeah.
But how many people do you think it actually gets benefits from training jiu-jitsu for their mental health?
Well, I've said this before that. So I got corrected because I said I don't think anyone really starts jiu-jitsu at the thought of their mental health.
Yeah.
But I quite rightly so got corrected because, like, for example, Reorg Charity are pairing people to jiu-jitsu for both physical and mental health problems. So there is a majority of people that literally just get started on their journey because of mental health. But that probably wouldn't have happened before such charities as Reorg.
Yeah.
They've obviously, the guys that started Reorg obviously have seen the benefits of it for mental health, and so then thought, well, other people, you wouldn't, if you had no clue about jiu-jitsu. So Ross is a great example because he's come to us from Reorg. He said he had no clue about jiu-jitsu, didn't even know it existed.
Had he done any martial arts previously?
I think he's done rugby. I don't think he's done martial arts.
Okay.
Could be wrong. I don't know. He wouldn't have gone and trained jiu-jitsu if he hadn't have found Reorg.
No.
So I think before charities like that, no one would really go, oh, you know, I'm not feeling great, I'm gonna go and train jiu-jitsu. I just don't think that was a thing.
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong again, but I know people, you know.
Unless you were already part of the sport.
Well,
Yeah.
or you had someone very close to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you'd always be
already
introduced.
already understood it because
Yeah.
it's not changed. The benefits haven't changed, but the way it's described or marketed to people as a benefit has changed. Like you said, they're
Yeah.
probably one of the first. There are lots of other charities that make it accessible to people or get people into it and stuff, but it was certainly in this country anyway one of the first to really champion that as one of the primary benefits.
Yeah.
Like as opposed to a nice little extra bonus
Yeah.
of a sport.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just one of those things that like falls into place with jiu-jitsu really.
Yeah.
And it's not even so like when you speak to like doctors or therapists and stuff, and a lot of people always say, physical exercise is great for mental health, yeah, because like otherwise you sort of you get into a bit of a pit where like you be at home, you don't do anything,
Just
and
eat some shit.
yeah, basically, and your lifestyle matches your like mental
Yeah.
state. So physical exercise sort of drags you out of that because like just going to the gym or going for a walk or going for a run, like it gets you out of that pit of where you're sort of are, if you know what I mean. I sort of lost my train of thought there, sorry. But yeah, so what was I saying? My brain just ran away from my thought
I
process
think
then.
what you're getting at is like you get the out of the mind into the body benefit, which is backwards because like if you're thinking of it as a benefit for mental health, you'd expect to do like, I don't know, something specific to mental health.
Yeah.
Whereas actually something to step away from whatever mental health or just like stressors in your head you've got. Like, it's like sometimes you can overtrain and you need a rest from training. You can over stress about stuff going on in your life. And
Yeah.
I think sport, but especially like extreme or combat sports get you so far out of the kind of daily stressors that's time off or time out where you get to switch off your mind to the noise and really hyper focus on something. That's why people get so into video games or whatever. Like it's an hour or two of pure escapism.
But I think a lot of it is like that is, but that's also can become a little bit unhealthy as well, because they, like a lot of the experts will say that it's about getting your heart rate going, and like there's a certain thing, again we've said this before and I don't know the real technical terms, but like is it the cortisol?
That's the stress hormone.
Oh, is it? What's the opposite of that?
Endorphins.
Yeah, so it's the endorphins that you get pumping. And also with jiu-jitsu, it's like the little wins that you start to achieve. So like when you learn something or you submit someone,
you get a stripe or
exactly,
whatever.
the endorphins give you a boost. So it's not like there's levels to the fact of how training jiu-jitsu is good for your mental health, if you know what I mean. Like it's a purpose. It gives you a purpose. And I think I use it as one, an escapism, because I have an overactive brain, whether that's linked to like ADHD or whatever. But a good example is like I can't sleep at night unless I I have to have headphones on to listen to something, because I can't, because I cannot sleep. If I don't do that, I'm just there like, can't shut off.
Do you put on the ice cream episode and just listen to us?
That's horrible.
I find I just overthink.
Yeah.
Like it could be the simplest thing. Like this is why I hate like texting a lot of the time, because depending on your mood, you'll read something differently. So like you could end up texting me something and I'll read it like, well, that sounds like a attitude or grumpy. They're not in a good mood with me, sort of thing. But they could be completely fine and there's no difference in how they've spoken to you.
Yeah.
But in your head, if you've had a bad day or something, you just completely change how they've actually messaged.
Yeah, but I mean, so you've got like that side of it, but then also I would say I'm a creature of habit, and so I like the fact that at a minimum I do Monday, Thursday, Saturday. Yeah. Like that.
And if you miss one of those, it stresses you out.
You get like this weird thing, don't you, where you feel like you're missing out on something?
Yeah.
Yeah, like is that a benefit? Like does that, because that's a potential downside, isn't it?
Yeah. It's good and bad. It's good for me because I like the habit. But, and I've said to you before, like where I've trained, like I've picked up, stop for so long.
Yeah.
I get stuck, and I know, like if I took like a month off, I would really struggle, I think, to like, probably not so much now because I think I'm so deep into it. But if you'd have asked me like 5 years ago, if I'd have taken a month off, I'd have gone, oh, I'll just take another month off.
Yeah.
Like,
and then it ends up being a year.
Yeah. But
because I used to be, I think, the same. Like if I missed just one seminar or one class, I'd be like, fuck, like everyone else has learnt that thing and I haven't had time to practice it or learn it as well. And then you start to realise like you're neglecting other parts of your life, and then you try and find that balance. And I feel like now I'm in a good spot where like I love training still and I train when I can, but if something more important or like...
What on earth is more important than jiu-jitsu?
Like spending time with friends or family or a loved one comes up, you put that before it, which I never used to do.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that it gives you, is because it is so structured and there's a lesson on this day at this time and you could go to all of them. It kind of forces you... Like as the other external dependents and stuff like that go up or down, you learn to manage your time correctly, because you can overtrain, you can undertrain, and you can be stressed because you're not training as much as you'd like to be. But then it makes you really take a look at what really matters to you and how to manage a schedule, and like which is again all these, like, you wouldn't say to someone, oh, come do jiu-jitsu because it really helps you line a schedule and really manage your life. Like, you wouldn't say that to someone.
No.
But that's another one of those benefits that we all get, and the resilience of and the further you are into your journey with the sport, I think it's easier to do. But
yeah, I was gonna say like
when you've just started and you're like, oh my god, this is a brand new thing and it's amazing, and you're so
bang, 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 bang.
I think because the learning curve at the start is so steep, if you stop, you feel like you're literally rolling back downhill.
Yeah.
Whereas once you've come over into whatever, because I go, for a week or two without training now because of the life stuff, and Catherine's schedule sometimes means I can't train on a Monday or a Thursday, or we're doing things on the weekend, so it doesn't happen. But it's like, it's still there.
It's never gonna disappear or go.
And I think that's a good skill to get, or a good mental skill to not panic and it stops you. It makes you deal with fear of missing out.
Yeah. I think it's easier for you guys to say that though,
because of where we are.
Because of where you are at in the sport.
Yeah, I do agree.
For me,
but we've all been there as well. Like,
yeah, I think where I've got like goals.
Yeah.
I'm still a little bit in that missing out period.
Yeah.
But whereas like, you get to, like, I think it's like you start training at white belt, you sort of dip in and out, you sort of give it and take it, and all of a sudden you get a bit addicted, and then you're like training all the time as much as you can. Then you sort of like, go along, you get your blue belt, and then you sort of like, once you get a belt, you sort of like, ooh, bit of a taste for wanting that then, isn't it? Progression. But I think once you say, I can only assume, but like once you get your purple belt and you just sort of consistently train, and then you get your brown belt, and it's kind of like you still develop, but you're like a time then, isn't it? Like you're pretty much like, you're like the high level.
Which
and
again is that thing we spoke about some time ago of like the relationships of like the honeymoon.
Yeah.
Like I think your white belt is like you're kind of brand new to the relationship, and you're kind of still working
you're getting sex all the time.
Yeah. Blue belt is like you're engaged.
Yeah.
It's still exciting. When you're a purple belt, you're probably married, and so you kind of got the newlywed stage, but
sex has died down.
Starting to think about children, and like you have to deal with the logistics of actual life.
Yeah.
Whereas brown belt, you're like, you're a lifer, you're in it, and you start to understand.
Which is annoying. Fuck.
There's going to be like, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be difficult periods and easier periods, and then I think black belt is more like an anniversary. Like you've come to a real kind of like an achievement kind of status with the relationship.
It's also like, once you get to like brown, like when you're like blue belt, like if you don't stay consistent, it almost feels like you could almost slip back, and then like there'd be like white belts that are like better than you, if you know what I mean, as in like time. And I've sort of gone through this because of, like I say, training, quitting, training, quitting, like training with people that are then, you go back and like they're like way better than you, if you know what I mean. And I know that's a lot of the reason why sometimes when people have to take long periods of time off, they take so long to get back into the sport. I would say like at white belt, maybe at blue belt, if you know what I mean, because you're still taking on so much knowledge that you can not get worse, but other people will overtake you
to be getting worse.
And so like you say, once you hit like high level purple belt, brown belt, black belt sort of thing, like those belts aren't going to get taken away from you, and
you've earned it.
And you can step on the mat, even if you've taken 2 years off. You're still going to step on the mat and be better than 90% of people generally on the mat, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I think it gives you, that's like there's like the micro and the macro, right? Of like you build like resilience and deal with your ego and your competitive stuff when you're rolling. That's a really like specific event of that, whereas this is a much bigger, more generalized version of that. Is like you have to deal with, I'm jealous of them because they don't have responsibilities or whatever, their job allows them to train whenever they like, and X and Y, and Z, like it helps you be resilient to all of that stuff just as much as someone tapped me and it kind of annoyed me. Like it's that whole spectrum, and I think that's what it gives everyone, and it gives you different stuff like that at different stages too, depending on where you are in your jiu-jitsu journey, but where you are in your life as well.
And I think that's for like what you were saying about where you're at the moment, and you feel like you're chasing like a certain achievement. I think that's very similar to where I was at your stage. But I didn't really know what I was chasing. I just knew I was chasing something, but I didn't know what it was. Then when I got to my purple, I think that's when I was just like, something changed. I think maybe right at the start, or like maybe 6 months into purple belt, where just suddenly there was nothing I was chasing. I was like, I feel comfortable. And just felt.
I think as well, and again,
it just chilled right out.
I know I say it all the time, but like I think for me as well, because of training on and off so long, it's like I didn't think anything of that journey until I got my blue belt. And then all of a sudden, when I got my blue belt, I was like, you know, there's something to this, like, and as much as everyone says, oh, like I'm probably a strong believer that I'm not that fussed about belts. But there's definitely something that I am chasing for. And I think when people say to you, you know, whenever there's talk of a promotion or like whatever, and then someone does a little mention, they're like, "Oh, you might be getting," or so, you know what I mean? You then
it messes with your head.
It doesn't mess with you, but like, well, it does, but like you sort of like, you then think, "Oh, maybe I should do this, work a bit harder or something," or maybe. So then, what do I need to do then to do that? If you know what I mean. But really, you just turn up and like
just stay committed.
You shouldn't really care, if you know what I mean. Like.
But I had it all the time, because like me and Ashley, we were going through, like, we're getting stripes at sort of the same time and everything like that. It would always be like, oh, like we might get striped this time and stuff like this, because you sort of kind of gauge the times, especially if you're training like 5-6 times a week. You kind of can gauge when roughly when sort of stripes come in. And like I think it was the blue belts and stuff, because I think Jeff was coming down, and me and Ashley were like, we might get our belts there, and like people would always say, oh, you're definitely in. It messes with your head.
That's it.
And then when it doesn't happen, then you go on this low almost. If you say like, why didn't I? Like everyone says I should, but I didn't. And then like it.
But you have to break down the muscle to make it stronger. Much like you have to break down your ego to make it. And that's what
improves your jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, well, I think that's what happens, is because you get that little seed planted in your head, and again, you guys have been through this. It's a bit different now. Like, essentially, one day you two will get your black belts. That's sort of like, as long as you don't quit now, which you two probably aren't going to. That's kind of like what happens when you get to like high level purple, brown to your black belt. If you know what I mean. Like, it's one of those things where you do improve, but it's like it's more like it's sort of like, say you've got like skill time. Once you get to the higher belts, it sort of just like levels itself out. Whereas when you're like white, blue, purple, it's almost like you've got to do both. Like you've got to put the time in and learn the skills. Whereas when you start to go up, it's more like you've got really good skills. As long as you stay consistent, the next achievements will come, if you know what I mean. So then, when you're chasing something, when you're like white, blue, I don't know if purple belts chase really, like.
For me, purple belt.
Like, I think it depends on the person.
Because if you're a competitor, you're chasing. I would say, like, for me at purple belt, it was my favourite belt, because I was so chill. I was just enjoying jiu-jitsu. Wasn't thinking about anything. Didn't have stripes to worry about or like think about, because we don't do stripes at our club. It was just like the most chillest, most funnest belt.
We don't do stripes above blue. So I was just like, this is great. And then brown belt, I think I felt like I need to improve to put myself to a better level, to sort of like. That's just the imposter syndrome of every belt. Like I think it's, I wouldn't meet anyone, or I'd find it very rare to have met someone that when they got given that belt,
no, I deserve this.
I don't think I've met anyone yet that's like, yeah, like this is my belt, I should have been this belt. Like,
So, for
you
instance,
always get that imposter syndrome.
At
My
least
brother
not
never wears
100%.
his belt at training. Like, I'm not sure about where he trains usually, but I know every time he's been into Newbury, he's never worn his belt.
Well, that's strange for a guy that's had that belt sat in his cupboard for
Multi-pack.
Couple of years.
yeah. Yeah.
So have you guys had, on the same, like, similar topic of mental health, have you had any mental health, like, benefits that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, I definitely.
I think, yeah, I think this stint that I've been in of training now is what's changed me mentally, because I was in a very bad place before this.
Do you mean this stint as in since coming back to Newbury?
Yeah, so I don't know how long I've been. I want to say it's coming up to 3-ish years now
Where you've been
that
consistently.
I've been back at Newbury. Because I remember training before. You were a white belt. You and Ashley were white belts. I remember training before, and you got given your blue belt just before COVID, didn't you?
It was a session before it all
Yeah.
went to shit.
So I can't remember. You probably remember more because I would have been talking to you. But whenever that,
Yeah, I remember
was,
seeing you sat there watching and stuff like that.
I didn't really think much of it then, and I sort of, because I went away then anyway and stuff and shit happened and blah blah blah. Yeah, so I was in quite a bad place and COVID happened and I sort of didn't have anything, and then COVID ended and I still just like was just in a hole of like shitness really.
Was that when you were like almost scared to leave the house?
Yeah,
Like,
but that was 20. I want to say that was 2020. I think that was COVID when I was like that, which probably happened at one of the worst times for me in my life because I was forced to stay at home.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to, so I just used that as an excuse, and I was like, yeah, I just don't need to work, like, but really in
Which
my
lets
mind,
you stay and fester in
Yes,
your kind
yeah.
of comfort zone.
And I
doesn't it?
remember-
stuff like that can tear you up because like sitting in one spot, letting your mind
Yeah.
wander can destroy you.
and I used to do that.
Yeah.
I remember because I knew we was living in Brooke. Brooke was still in the school, so she was still working, so she was going to work every day, and at points it was like that bad where like I could only drive like, so where we were living, I reckon it was about a mile down the road, and I used to go and walk the dog in the morning, and I used to park in exactly the same space. It sounds mental talking about it now, but it was that bad that I used to set myself a goal of walking to a tree and just past a tree, because I used to get to that point and have a panic attack, and I'd
Really?
have to turn around and go back to the car and go home. And so it's mad really how far I've come now, but because I didn't have anything, like I say, I didn't have jiu-jitsu then,
Yeah.
because I'd chosen to leave. I can't really remember why I left before all that anyway, but yeah, if I look back now and I think if I'd have been able to train and stay consistent, I probably would have been a different person.
So I think a lot of people at the club would be really surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
Because you're so different now to what you were then.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken
Like you've
about...
got so much banter and you're so
Yeah.
just open just to give people shit and
Yeah, yeah. I've spoken about my stuff before on a episode of this
Yeah.
before, but yeah, like I don't really talk about it that much because it's one of those things where you kind of want to forget that it ever happened.
Yeah, you don't want to give it any more of your energy and attention
Yeah,
because
that's it.
it's taken so much of your energy in the
Yeah.
past. You've had to work super hard to get out of the headspace. You don't want to like
Bring it back
be
up.
even
Yeah.
steering towards it.
That's it.
Yeah.
But
But
I think it also helps people to hear it because, like, even newer
Yeah.
people now, if they are listening to this and they hear something like that, they're like, oh shit, like, it's hard to believe
Yeah.
someone like Mason was like that.
yeah,
What was the benefit? What was the unseen benefit for you?
What for someone like what Mason?
Well, you said there was a benefit you didn't expect.
There was a couple, like one, I remember there was a time where I was just so chill because of like training and having someone trying to choke you on a daily basis, like the everyday bullshit of like road rage or someone breaking into your car or something like that just made everything seem so much easier. Or like dealing with a shitty customer, which I don't really get, but when they're like really fussy and stuff like that, it's just like, can't be asked to deal with it. But like you've just got so much more control of just
I think it just
everyday
gives you
thing.
that mental resilience.
Yeah.
It kind of turns the volume down on all the other stuff.
I don't think that does that for everyone, because some people are just hardwired into like
Yeah.
just the brain is just their brain's just working a different way. But I think like I would say naturally I'm quite a very chilled out person, but I'm not, if you know what I mean. Like
You're anxious on the inside.
but I think so Brooke always says that I'm like emotionless, like cold hearted, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not to her, I don't think, but I think I've had so many years of like stuff in my head that I'm now just like straight lining, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I mean. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. Like, have I just built up mental resilience the same as you? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, did jiu-jitsu give you that mental resilience of just being like, just like, it's almost in a weird way, it's almost just like, just another thing.
Yeah.
Like when something props up, it's just like,
Because
all right, we'll get through it.
It's not like, oh, be tough and ignore it. It's stay calm and solve the problem at hand.
Same relaxed.
Which externally looks like the same. If you appear to be flatline in your emotions, it could be that you're, stay tough and ignore it. But actually, because it looks the same, but actually what it is stay calm and deal with what you're looking like. Don't ignore it, but you can't. It's not going to help you to stress about it. What's going to help you is maintain composure, like good posture emotionally, good structure emotionally to deal with whatever issue is.
Yeah. Staying calm and being able to just breathe and relax. Same with like being choked.
Yeah.
If you start panicking and like trying to gas and just like get really tense, you're going to go out so much quicker. But if you can stay relaxed and control your breathing, you feel like you've got so much more time. And the same with everyday things. If you start panicking about like a simple mishap with your job or something like that and start stressing, suddenly it just gets 10 times worse. But if you can stay controlled.
I think for me as well, the counter side of what I went through is that I stressed myself out. I lived in a mad high state of anxiety for so long that now I think I've run out of energy to be like that anymore. And it's only like the big... No, I think I'm just so used to feeling like it, because I still get it now, that I'm just like... Every little thing is just building something up to be like... Do you know what I mean? But 100% I can relate it back to jiu-jitsu to say that it's got me through, in the sense of, like you say, when you're getting smothered or choked or like having a mad scramble or whatever, and some people just be like, oh shit. But I think because of it relates in both ways is what I'm trying to say. So like when you have like mental health problems, you then can bring it back to jiu-jitsu, because you're like, I panic all the time, I'm not going to panic at this, if you know what I mean. And then also, but then when the other flip side is like, when you then panic at something in life, you're like, you can relate it back. Like I talk to myself now about like when I'm feeling a bit like that, a bit like just pretend that you're like sparring with someone. That's all you're doing. You know, you get through a 5-minute round, because when you have like a anxiety shit, it's like in waves. And like I compare it to like 5-minute rounds or 10-minute rounds, and I'm like, it's just like getting smothered by John for 5 minutes. Like the bell will ring and I'll get out of it. So
But I think another benefit I found was confidence. Just have the confidence. Like jiu-jitsu, you're never going to always win, and there's going to be times that you have to just accept losing. And it's the same with life. Like you're going to have moments in your job or relationships where it's not going to go to plan. It's not exactly going to go the way you thought it was going to go, but you have to just accept it and move on, which is easier said than done, obviously.
Yeah.
But just trying to control those emotions.
I think it's why it humbles young males very quickly. And I've seen it from a few guys that we train with, you know, come in very sure of themselves and then very quickly, so like you take a little bit of a dislike to these people because you're like, oh, he's fucking cocksure of himself, like, blah, blah, blah. But then very quickly you like come to like them because they like, you've watched them 6 months and they just change and they're like suddenly like really nice, polite guys that are just like having a good round with you and all that. And it's like, you can only put it down to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I've just recorded the solo pod about the women's self-defense stuff, and a big like part of that is like, yes, women shouldn't have to learn to defend themselves. The men shouldn't be violent towards them, right? And that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's all well and good teaching that to women, but what are you doing for the other side of it? And that's it. It's being able to mentor the young guys who come in and who learn, because jiu-jitsu is about, what's it about? It's about respect. It's about controlling your stuff. It's about consenting to activities with another person. And if someone says stop, you stop. And we can indoctrinate these young guys into that really positive mental attitude. Like, that's massive. And that's one of these offshoots of jiu-jitsu that we don't really think about in that context, because you aren't specifically saying to them, this is how to be a man. Or this is how to be a good
planting
person.
that seed, isn't it? And getting into the routine of it.
And that's why gyms and gym culture is so key, because the young guys are so impressionable. And if it's not that, they're going to look for it somewhere else, whether it's whoever they meet on the street or a family member who may or may not be a kind of positive influence. Like, it's going to be from somewhere. Let it be a good bunch of guys, and I don't mean to like gender it specifically, but the young guys look up to the older guys. This is what we're talking about. Just having them within that culture, it's literally like a bacteria culture of this is positive. Like good fungus penicillin is good medicine. Bad fungus ringworm staph, right? Can fucking get you. So it's like, and that's why gyms become toxic, because they're petri dishes of culture, and some gyms become really toxic. And I think we probably don't have time to talk about it now, but that's why the J-Rod stuff with him being inappropriate. And he was such an ingrained, like, he's the sibling of someone else on that
co-founder
fight team, and they're like, cut him out immediately. It's cancerous.
He could have infected that gym so badly, like,
and it was a straight no. And that's so positive.
The decision that BT made on an instant of basically, it was, in a sense, it was kind of a guilty till proven innocent backwards way. So like, rather than
the issue is we don't know the conversations that have been had between them.
It was such a strong accusation in that gym that even if they hadn't have had the proof at that time, they would have had to have said to him, listen, mate, same as like if it was in our, where we train,
it's a safeguarding
someone
concern,
would have said,
right,
mate, you've got to go if it's proven that this is all just an accusation or whatever. But J-Rod knew he was banged to rights because he then released a video basically just saying, yeah, look, this has happened, like, obviously, but yeah.
So if anyone ever says, like, but what you doing on the other side of this argument, that's it. It's getting those guys and letting them go through this, like, journey of being cocksure and annoying and being young and just...
And obviously there's some that slip through. You can't...
That's always going to happen. You can't help everyone. And that's the same when some adults, join. And if they don't fit with the culture...
They don't normally hang around for long.
And everyone says that we've got such a good, positive culture in our gym. And that's really great when these guys stick around because you get to mold them in a positive way, and then you, even when they leave or go off to university or go off to jobs or whatever, out into the world, you've had access and they've had exposure to positive culture at a really formative time in their lives, and I think that will stay with them.
The difference is when you have someone join that's like 30 plus, maybe like, you know, a little bit older, when they're
a mature adult,
when they're a person and they are a like a mentality or like a personality. You don't change those people.
It's difficult. It's possible, but it's difficult.
Normally, they don't stick around.
Yeah.
It's a bit like an old dog. Like, you have a really specific window of time with puppies to desensitize them, to train them well, to get it really ingrained.
Yeah.
If you miss the window, there's only so much you can do. You can train a dog, but you probably can't socialize a dog necessarily in the same way you could when it's a puppy.
All you can do is beat it.
And starve it.
But with like the point you said about Newbury being so welcoming and that, on the Monday we had the lady come in, and she was saying how like great the vibe was, and everyone was so friendly and like chatty and like banter.
She was asking you about more classes because she enjoyed it so much, or something along the
Even
lines,
though she was told there'd be loads of girls there, and then there was none.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was great because she watched me suplex Mason, then we rolled, and she was just like, can you not do that to me, or something like that. It's just like, oh no, don't worry about it, it's fine, like he's only a white belt. And I was like, that's his first time here as well. Just winding her. But she had a great time.
It felt like it.
But you can feel it and you can smell it when you go into a gym. You can really quickly, like, even if you don't know anything about training or martial arts or whatever, it's like when you go into a pub and you're like, this is a pub for locals only, and I shouldn't be here.
True
right?
Brexit geezers.
Right. Or going to a pub where it's like, oh, there's some good tunes on, there's people in here that look really chill, and everyone's you have a nice time. It's the same thing. And I think that's a big part of the mental health thing, is like a community of like just not like people from different backgrounds, cultures, all that stuff, but we're all there doing the same thing, and we're all being kind and supportive. Like, that's huge. We've been going for over an hour.
Oh shit.
I was just going to say, on the point of like the young sort of guys thing, is like, I was thinking about it yesterday, because when we left the gym yesterday, there was like a large group of like youths outside, and you know, they were giving it all the sort of like shouting, swearing sort of thing, and
not people that have been training.
No, just like park. And like,
there was a lot of them. There must have been at least 20.
Yeah, and I was thinking, but they were all staring at us, and I was thinking it's quite funny in a way, because like, you know, there's people just leaving, like John Harasmachut's like got no t-shirt on, just walks out like dripping with sweat. Like, I think I was in my little short shorts, like you know, like glasses on, just like strolling out, and they're probably looking at us like, who the fuck are these weirdos? But like, that's the sort of people that you want to come in and be like, oh shit, like the
youth. Maybe we should do an outreach scheme.
No, I'm fine.
Get the youth off the street.
He doesn't want to help the youth.
No, I don't care. If they turn up, then I'll help them.
What happens if Koa turns into a little road man?
He won't. He's not allowed. No. Listen.
Don't be too strict on that, because otherwise he'll do the exact thing you've told him to not do.
I won't purposely parent him and say, you will never be a roadman, but he will know that.
He will never be a
if
roadman.
He asks me for an Adidas tracksuit,
matching,
and
one of those little bags,
then exactly
Louis Vuitton little
bag.
Then he will get
an electric scooter.
He will get a Swift heel hook.
What's the chances though Ripley and Koa end up getting married?
I think it's there's no sort of choice. That's just
it's how it happens.
It's an arranged marriage. Sam's paid the dowry, so
I've given you 2 of my best camels.
Yeah, they're dead.
What?
Talking of dead animals,
right? This has to be the last thing, because I have to go back and do some work.
Sorry,
one died. One's dead. Gone. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Rest in pieces.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, next. Tell you what. Next episode, that can be the main topic.
We don't need to talk about that for an hour.
I'm going to do a sermon.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Can we make it Jewish though, please?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Can you come in dressed up for it?
Well,
He can't
you all
grow.
have to.
He can't grow ringlets.
We have to get us
There's a dress code.
Black.
black suit.
Yeah, black suit.
In mourning.
Yeah.
We'll do
I'll
that.
put a veil, like a black veil.
That's a wedding. You're not.
No, a
what-
white one is a.
Yeah, but no, a black veil would be if you were mourning the loss of a partner, wouldn't it?
Black veil would be like Muslim, wouldn't it?
Look, we don't know.
Can you bring the other
That's
mouse?
a burqa.
Oh,
Are we allowed
yeah.
to say what they are?
Well,
You have to beat that.
What?
The mice.
Yeah, fuck it. It's at the end of the pod. No one's going to listen to this bit.
Can you bring the
The
other one
average
in?
watch time's like 15 minutes anyway.
We could dress up the other one like all in black.
Yeah.
And give that one a black veil.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Because it must
Potentially.
have
If we all turn up in suits, I'll bring the other one.
deal.
Well, hang on a minute. How's that going to work?
What do you mean?
Because you won't know if we come in a suit. We might
You have, to
surprise
show,
you.
you have to show me that you've come
Just
in a
have to
suit.
trust.
Trust
Right.
in our friendship.
Anyway, R.I.P.
Yeah.
What was that one's name?
Rest in peace. Can't remember.
Oh,
Mr. Squeaks.
Either Mera or Kesh, one of the two. But then we changed the names again, so it could be blueberry, raspberry, God knows.
Bye for now.
huh?
Bye for now.
Bye for now.